when you refer to yourself as an atheist, right? Do you mean that you believe the proposition that it is not the case that God exists?
I lack belief in the claim that God exists
Well,
because there is
that's
no reason to believe it.
wait, that's not. So what I asked you is, do you believe the proposition that it is not the case that God exists?
I am an agnostic atheist. My position is that I do not know if God exists.
Yeah,
Therefore, I
I
lack
share the
belief
same
in the
position.
therefore I lack belief in the claim that God
Mhm.
exists.
Okay, so but when you say an atheist as used in the literature, I just take the atheist
What
to mean.
literature?
Yeah, I'm referring to the Stanford Encyclopedia of Philosophy, where
Hmm.
atheism is defined
I
as
told you I'm an agnostic atheist.
yeah, yes. But when you're saying agnostic and atheist, right? So those are two. So you're saying that
No, it's a philosophical position.
yeah, I
It's an
understand
actual
that.
philosophical position. That is what
Yeah,
my position is. Address that only.
yeah. So I understand what you're saying. So what I'm trying to say is atheism in the literature, as in the Stanford Encyclopedia of Philosophy, is
I'm an
defined
agnostic
as
atheist. I'm not an atheist. I'm an agnostic atheist.
wait, the atheism is defined as believing that the negation of the premise that God exists is what constitutes an atheist. But when you say you're an
I'm an
agnostic
agnostic atheist,
atheist,
Appoota. I'm
yeah,
an
so when
agnostic
you say
atheist.
an agnostic atheist, yeah, so what I'm trying to say is that you're saying that it's not the case that God exists, and you're also saying that you don't know if God exists. So that seems like a contradiction, right?
No, I'm not. I'm saying I lack belief in the claim that God exists. I'm not saying
Yeah,
that
so
God does
that's
not exist.
compatible with what I said. Okay, so
I am
you
not.
aren't asserting that God, it's not the
Listen,
case
listen,
that God
listen,
exists.
listen. You want clarity? I'll say it one more time.
Hmm.
You are claiming. Suppose, are you a theist in this case?
No, I'm agnostic. I don't refer to myself as an agnostic atheist. I just refer to myself as an agnostic.
Okay. So let me clarify. The claim that God exists is made by a theist. The reason I am an atheist is because I do not have enough information to come to any conclusion about that, and therefore I reject that claim. Does
Yeah,
that make
but
sense?
when you say reject, so there are two construals of reject, right? So you could either reject as in say that the proposition is false, or you can reject as in say that that you're not convinced by the proposition.
Yeah,
So
the
which one
second
is it?
one. The second one.
Okay, so you don't take it to be the case that the proposition is false, right?
No,
Okay, fine.
I've
Yeah,
said this for. I've been saying it for the last 5 minutes, man.
yeah, but it's not as clear as you said it right now.
Yeah, that's
So
because you have been talking about a Stanford dictionary definition that I don't even subscribe to.
I mean, it's the one that
What? Your audio disappeared, man.
hey, I had a power cut on my end. Sorry for that.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah. So yeah, we were just talking about like the definitions of atheism, agnosticism, and
Hmm.
all that, right? So
Yeah.
yeah. So I've just linked a source which is considered to be like an authoritative source in the domain
Where
of
have you linked
philosophy.
it?
It's in the private chat.
It's in the private chat.
Yeah. So
Plato, Stanford philosophy, and more specifically, philosophy of religion. The term atheism is standardly used to refer to the proposition that God does not exist, or more broadly, to the proposition that there are no gods. Okay, what about it?
yeah. Yeah, and there are reasons to. So if you're claiming that you are an agnostic atheist,
Hmm.
there are reasons why in the domain of philosophy, when people use the term atheist,
Hmm.
we should be using atheism as the proposition that God does not exist, and not
No,
as the
Laputa,
yeah,
you're
not
talking
as
to
the
me. You're talking to me and not talking to Stanford University. If you're talking to
well,
me,
this is
talk about what I think. Na?
yeah. So what I'm saying is just making a normative statement, right? So there are reasons why preferring a certain definition would lead to certain problems downstream, right? So that case is made in
What
that article.
problems will it lead to? If I say I'm an
Yeah,
agnostic atheist,
yeah,
if I say,
that
listen,
case.
this is a
Mhm.
recurring problem with you. You can't shut the fuck up at the right time.
Yeah, I
Listen,
understand your question. That's
listen.
why I'm answering
Yeah,
beforehand.
you can still stay quiet and let me finish my sentence, right?
Hmm.
I'm saying if I say I'm an agnostic atheist and you want to have a conversation with me, there is no
Hmm.
need to go to Stanford. You can simply address what I think.
Wait, what do you mean
Go
by
on.
there's no need to go to Stanford?
If you are going to subscribe to a definition of atheism that I do not subscribe to, then you're not
Yeah,
having a conversation with me about my views, right?
So what I'm trying to do is trying to raise a critique of using a particular definition to describe your views.
Irrelevant. This definition is my definition. You're talking to
I mean,
me.
what do you
Talk
mean
to
it
it.
was irrelevant? I'm just saying that if you're using a particular definition, it's
Hmm.
going to, yeah. So there are like problems with using a particular definition a certain way.
No, there is no
And that
problem.
case,
If the goal is to talk to me,
mhm,
use the definition that I said I believe in. Simple. It's not rocket science.
yeah, you're not tracking. So what I'm saying is, if you're using a
No, the
particular
problem is that
definition,
I'm not fitting your script.
no, the problem is that if you're using a term, right,
Hmm.
and you mean something else by the term,
No, I
there
don't. I
are,
told you very clearly what I mean by it.
yeah. So
Agnostic
when,
atheism is a valid philosophical position. I
well, I didn't
subscribe to
say
it.
it's not
If you
valid.
want to talk about it, talk about it.
Yeah, so what I'm saying is that there is a problem with using certain terms in different ways, and that case
I'm
is
not
being
using
made
it
in that
different
argument.
ways. I am that. See, here's the thing.
Yeah,
The reason
like,
you
dude,
might have
I
a
don't know.
problem with,
Mhm.
listen, the reason you might have a problem with me using agnostic atheism as my position is because every argument that you have prepared deals with something else, which is this other definition of atheism, which is an actual stating, an actual claim about the non-existence of God. You are prepared for that conversation. You're not prepared for this conversation, and therefore you are desperately trying to get
No,
me to
I'm
say the
well. I'm
thing
not
that you
trying
need
to
me to
make an
say,
argument
so
anyway.
that your script continues to work.
No, I'm not. I mean, I'm not even trying to make an argument yet. I'm just trying to get clarity on the entire thing before even making that argument.
It's very clear. I am an agnostic atheist. Do you need a
Yeah.
definition again?
Uh, yeah. So the reason I'm trying to mention is because I want to ask you about global atheism versus local atheism. So if you take the proper if yeah, if you're using the definition a different term, so what I'm trying to say is if you're using atheism as a proposition, so assuming that you agree and you use the term atheism to mean that it's a proposition that negates the proposition that God exists, then I'm just going to ask you whether you are a local atheist or whether you're a global atheist, or are you agnostic about all gods?
I'm agnostic about all gods.
Okay, so do you think, for instance, the Christian God, right?
Hmm.
Do you think there is a contradiction entailed by the existence of the Christian God?
Define God.
What do you mean, like the
You are
as
assuming
the
I know what you mean by Christian God. I've
yeah
talked to Christians and everyone has a different definition. So give me your definition of the Christian
yeah.
God.
So I mean, I don't know what the definition is going to be because I'm not a Christian. So is it going to be
So
what they
if
generally
there is a
mean?
thing that you don't have a definition for and I don't have a definition for because I'm not, it's not my belief, what are we talking about really?
Yeah, we're just talking about some being that is mentioned with some propositions and traits attributed to that being, like omnipresence, omnibenevolence, not omnipresence,
So give me a
omnibenevolence.
definition. Give me a definition of God and we can talk about it.
Yeah, let's just say that this particular being has the following three properties, which is omnibenevolence, omnipotence, and omniscience. Do you think that entails a contradiction?
Is there any evidence of such a being existing?
Well, that's tangential to the question.
No, no, it's very essential to the question because I'm only interested in the truth of the matter, not in logical models, because you can create logical models to support almost anything. It doesn't matter if the thing cannot be demonstrated to be true.
Wait, so my question was whether there was a contradiction entailed. So is that a yes or is that a no?
The answer is I don't even give a flying fuck if there's a contradiction or not. The answer is that is
Well,
this demonstrable?
yeah. So the reason, well, I think you should give a fuck about it because if there is a contradiction entailed, then that being is logically impossible. So you don't have to
I
have
don't
any
give a
evidence.
flying fuck. Can this be demonstrated?
Yeah, this is a demonstration. So if you can
No,
demonstrate
no, no. It's a
that the
demonstration of a
being,
logical model.
yeah, if the being
If
is
I say
logically
the universe was
impossible,
created by a, if I say the universe was created by a winged pink hippopotamus, and that
mhm.
being has these many qualities, and I say there is no logical contradiction in my model, it is no more acceptable than your God definition. It doesn't matter.
Wait, that's. I mean, I don't see how that follows. But what I'm trying to
It
say is,
follows because what you have given me is an abstraction, and I'm not interested in it. I'm asking if
yeah.
there is
So
any
wait,
demonstrable point about this.
yeah. So the demonstration is that if such a being is logically impossible, then that entails that the being does not exist because, yeah, unless you're a dialectheist.
Unless you're a
A dial atheist, a person who believes in true contradictions.
I already made my position clear on this. You can have logical models that are logically consistent, and those things may still be impossible, may still be not there, not really existing, right? Is
Wait,
it
but
are you saying that just
mhm,
because a model is logically consistent, the thing it is
no,
describing is real?
no. What I'm
Bus,
saying is the
that's all.
opposite.
That's all I need.
I'm saying if the model is logically inconsistent, meaning that it entails a logical contradiction, then that particular being does not exist.
I don't have a huge disagreement with that, but again, I'm not interested in that. I'm only interested in what you can demonstrate.
Yeah, so that's what I'm trying to say, right? You should be interested in it, because
No,
if
no,
you can
no, no,
show
no, no,
that
no,
there
no,
is
no,
a
no, 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 no.
contradiction.
Don't tell me what I should be interested in, not interested in.
Wait,
Give me a
yeah, you
demonstration.
aren't even, I mean, you're not letting me finish, right? So what I'm trying to say is,
Okay,
if
ठीक है. Sorry, finish.
if there is a logical contradiction that is entailed by affirming that there is a particular being that is omniscient, omnipotent, and omnibenevolent, and you also affirm the existence of evil, which is, I'm running the classical problem of evil. So what I'm trying to say is,
Aputa,
if you have
Aputa,
affirmed those
we
four
are talking
propositions,
completely in हम लोग हवा में बातें कर रहे हैं.
yeah,
हवा
if
में
you're
बातें कर रहे हैं.
affirming
Completely
those
हवा
four
में बातें कर रहे हैं.
propositions, then that entails a contradiction. That's what
You
I'm trying
have
to say.
you have memorized a lot of things and you're very eager to spout them on the live stream because that's what your script says.
I'm not
I'm
interested in the
telling
meta.
you that unless you can demonstrate any of this crap, I'm not interested.
Yeah, I mean, what do you mean by demonstration if not like a logical contradiction in this particular case?
I told you, a logically consistent model is nothing
I'm not talking
because
about a
I can create
consistent
a
model,
logically.
so that's just tangential.
No, it's not tangential. You're talking about a logical model and you're asking me to say that this is inconsistent, right? Which leads me to conclude that there is a logical model out there that is consistent according to you. Am I right?
No.
You don't think there is any logically consistent model for God?
Yeah, I'm sure there is, but what I'm trying to
Yeah.
say specifically about this particular model,
See, again, you have a script to which you are trying desperately to stick.
I'm
And
not
I have
interested in the meta.
what?
I'm not interested in a conversation about the conversation.
Yeah. And I am not interested in the conversation at all unless you can demonstrate something.
Yeah, so the demonstration is that if you affirm four propositions, which is existence of evil, and
Can
the
you,
being,
okay, define, like you already gave me a definition of God, right? So describe
Mhm.
evil.
Yeah, so I just take evil to mean things that I don't prefer as a subjectivist.
So, मुझे साग अच्छा नहीं लगता. Is साग evil?
No, that's not what I'm. By
So,
prefer, I mean certain moral propositions.
okay. So, give me an example of a moral proposition that you think is absolutely evil.
Yeah, I just take it to mean that someone who pays for an Holocaust is absolutely evil.
Someone who?
Someone who pays for the Holocaust of a billion beings is absolutely evil in my view.
Okay. What about okay, you brought it back to veganism, which you are not going to talk about. Which we are not going to talk about. But why would you call that evil? What is, like, how do you describe evil? What is the definition of evil?
Yeah, that's what I mean. I just don't
You gave me an
prefer.
example of evil. What is
Yeah,
evil?
yeah. I told you that already, right? So there is a moral proposition, and that's what I don't have a preference for
What
it.
is
So
evil?
yeah, anything that I have a preference against
So if someone really liked doing something,
with regards to moral preference,
yeah,
moral
sure,
propositions. Yeah,
sure.
yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Would that not be evil for them? Is this subjective?
I mean, I don't know what it means for it to be evil for them.
So you're saying that a certain thing that you consider immoral is
Hmm.
evil only for you, or is it evil absolutely?
What does it mean for something to be evil? Absolutely.
Dude, you're the one who started the conversation. I'm
But
asking you
you're
a question
asking me a
about your
question, right?
definition.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
asking you what
I
does
think
it
we're running into
mean.
the same problem. Anything that does not fit inside your script is beyond your understanding.
Yeah, again,
But
this is
thank
just
you,
meta.
Appoota. Thank you.
Yeah,
Chalo, bye
sure.
bye.